So here we go.
Here we go. I don't know about you, Serena. Well, I know about you. This is my this is my favorite part of our weekly webinar. And I'm gonna go ahead and let Serena introduce our guests today. But for those of you who have been on weekly, we have weekly special guests that are usually in the essential business throughout COVID-19, so that you can get firsthand information of what it's really like out there, what they're going through, and to really educate yourself as well too on how to protect yourselves and your loved ones. But today is very special, and I'm going to go ahead and let Serena take it away.
All right, so today is very, very special for a variety of reasons. One is because I felt that it was a need for us to hear the voices of our young people. And so we've selected three young men today that have volunteered to come on and share their thoughts, their feelings about COVID-19, how it's impacted their lives, and how COVID-19, the impact on their lives has also stemmed into the current state of affairs in today's society. And so we invite onto a platform Kyrie, Kingsley, and Jeffrey. So guys, thank you so much for coming on a webinar today. I really appreciate you all for being a part of this and being willing to share your voices for everyone to hear, because I think it's important that they hear from you what you think, what you feel, because you guys are our future. And I want to hear from you. I know all of our viewers that tune in today, they want to hear from you too. So welcome.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're gonna get started. So now let me just set this first. So Kyrie is currently a college student. He just completed his freshman year in college. Am I correct, Kyrie?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Sophomore.
Hensley, and we got that wrong. Hensley, not
Yeah.
Hensley. Hensley. Okay. Well, Hensley. Hensley is actually a student, a high school student, and now can I tell him? Is it okay to tell him, Hensley, you're gonna be 17 in a few weeks?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah. Okay. So he's 16 and 3/4, and so he's a high school student. And then Jeff is a recent college grad. So we welcome all of you. And so I wanted to hear the voices from three different perspectives. Like Hensley is at the beginning of this process, trying to figure it out, right? And Kyrie is kind of in the midst of the process, trying to figure it out. And then Jeff is like at the end of the process now, going into careers and goals and where that's going to lead you, right? So I'm glad I have all three of you to have these three different angles coming at us from all those different angles. So let's start with Kyrie. So Kyrie, I know that you are an environmental science major, right? Am I correct?
Yep. Environmental science major.
Okay, and you have a minor in what?
Human health.
Human health. Okay, so you attend a private college upstate. And there was something that happened a little bit before you came down. So you came down for spring break, but then something happened at the college. Can you tell us what happened at the college before you came down for spring break?
Well, so it was in February, right? And early February, and I was looking up online. I was on this online forum, and these guys were talking about this thing called the Wuhan flu. And I was like, Wuhan flu, what's that, right? And I started looking at the links, and little did I know it was the coronavirus, the early form of COVID-19. And I was reading the scientific papers on it. They were talking about how it builds black paste in the lungs, how people can be asymptomatic for up to 41 days in some cases, how you can be infected from the eyes, the whole 9 yards. And what happened was that I was a part of this group on campus called the Eco Reps, and we pretty much talk about sustainable practices on campus. We talk about how to recycle and a little bit of science as well. And we were planning this this walk. We were going to go lobby for the Green New Deal in the town nearby. And when I tried to bring up COVID-19 and just try to strike up a little bit of a scholarly debate on maybe we have to change up our walk, maybe we have to do something different, maybe we need to cancel it. And they got really irate. They started being very aggressive and really screaming at me, because they were really emotional about this walk and they did not want to cancel it. And little do they know, now the school's canceled and there is no walk.
Yeah. Now, before then, you had started doing something, and people were kind of, joking around with you about it. What
Mm.
was it that you were doing?
I was wearing a mask, but that was before I even heard about COVID-19. In that
Mm-hmm.
school, they had a really big flu outbreak, and a lot of people were coming down with the flu. So I was already wearing my mask before COVID was even in the social light.
Mm-hmm. And so when you was telling them about the situation, and you was warning them that, being a part of a big march was not the ideal thing to do, why do you think they didn't listen to you? Do you think they didn't listen to you because you were an African American youth? Do you think they didn't listen to you? Why do you think they didn't listen to you?
I think it could have been all three, but honestly, I do kind of think it's my gender, and
Okay.
that I was kind of like a different guy. Like I'm kind of a straight shooter, so to say. I'm about the science. I came in. I would only care about the facts, really, and I guess they didn't like it. And they were also a little bit. I don't want to be insulting, but they were a little bit, I guess weird, so to say, or eccentric. And
Okay.
here I come. I'm just kind of normal, just trying to come in and just kind of say maybe we shouldn't do this event. And I guess they were just really emotional about it.
Hmm.
But
And I know
yeah.
you actually did some research, and then you post some information because you
Mm,
felt so compelled, right? And then what happened to the
mm.
information that you posted?
They deleted it.
Yeah,
I
they
still have it.
deleted
I
it.
still backed it up, but they deleted it off
Yeah,
the Slack platform.
yeah. And then afterwards, what did they have to do when they found out that the information you provided was true, accurate, inaccurate? What did they have to do?
They had well, I don't know if they had to, but they sent me
Well,
an
they didn't.
email. They said, "Oh, I'm very sorry. I wish we would have listened to you. Next time we're gonna listen to you." And now, well, a couple weeks after that, before the job itself closed, they would always ask me to speak in during the meetings that we had
Yeah,
online for a while.
yeah. So see, so Kyrie, your story kind of leads into why we're having this discussion, because there's a
Mm,
lot that we can learn from you, right? We can learn a lot from our young men, our young women. There's a lot that we can learn from you if we will listen. And sometimes the forces that be do not listen to the young people when they're trying to teach, because we can learn from babies, right? So there's a
that's
lot
true.
out there to be learned, and we just have to be open to hearing it. So I'm glad that you did
Mm,
that. I'm glad that you tried to enlighten them. I know when you came from upstate down to the city, you were wearing a mask on that bus, and I'm
yep.
glad for that. And you continue to wear a mask and keep everybody else in line. All right, so let's move.
Yep.
Um, Hensley, can we talk a little bit, if we can, about how COVID-19 has affected how you finish your school year? Because you're still in school now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How has it affected your school year? Did it change at all?
I would say yes, because
Mm-hmm.
before this whole thing happened, everything was going normal. I was playing rugby still, going to my fall season, finally about to have my second year. I was ready to have fun, like make the most of this year. We had plans, junior trip, all that stuff. And then out of nowhere, COVID shows up. And then next thing you know, I hear that school's closed until further notice. And then now I see all this notification about how you have to do work at home, do it by yourself. You have to navigate it by yourself. So for me, it was challenging at first, just how am I gonna do this with no help? But then I had to watch different videos, find different sources to use, and then I just figured it out slowly but surely. I just
Mm-hmm.
wish that I was able to finish my junior year better, I guess, and I
Mm-hmm.
was able to make the most of it in the way that I wanted to, but it's just not in the plans at this moment.
Yeah, yeah. And Jeff, what about you? I mean, I know that you completed your associate's degree, and then you worked hard because you wanted to get your bachelor's degree. So now you earned your bachelor's degree. This is the year. You've done all this work, and what happened? Oh, we need to unmute him. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah. So yeah, it was hard. It was a lot. It was tough. I did all this work, and I wasn't able to walk the stage. But at the same time, I can't really be too mad because people are dying left and right, as I said before, and it's like it's hard to be mad when some people just never get a chance to see their family again. So I worked hard, but I still have a chance in life to really like progress and get and do what I need to be done. This is not the end point. It's a
There you
temporary
go.
stop. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So what were your plans? What was your plans before all of this happened? Because I know you had a career plan in place. You do some things now. So can you share that with us?
Yeah, so before, like, my plan was really to just like progress like in my industry. Like, my major was photography and film with an English minor. And so what I did was, I was building my network, and I'm working for this magazine called Grunge Cake, and I was also working on my own album because I'm also a music artist. So my plan basically post college was to just play in the industry. I had things lined up with multiple like labels and publications. That's what I was going to move forward on, and also drop my album. But due to Corona, everything was pushed back. So everything from like my photography work to my music work to my journalism work, all my industries were hit. So I had to really like just take a second, collect everything, and like take steps to navigate in this kind of new society we're living in right now. So
Mm-hmm.
currently, with a lot of the injustices and Corona go on, like, I can't stop and think about the individual. We kind of have to move forward as a collective. So I've been trying to apply my voice and my message to whatever craft I'm moving in. So yesterday I dropped a song in honor of George Floyd, and all the other people that were murdered at the hands of police brutality. And it's called Black Boy. I dropped it on all major platforms, and it's available for purchase. So what I'm doing is I'm taking donations, and 100% of sales from the song, all the proceeds go to select organizations, including George Floyd's Family Fund. So that's my main thing of focus right now. And I'm also working with the magazine called Grudge Cake to do a new initiative as a community outreach, but something that's consistent and not just something that's a fire sparked from, all the
Right,
stuff that's going on. I want something that lasts in longevity. So that's like my
right.
main work focus right now.
Beautiful.
Serena,
And I
I'm
think,
gonna jump in there. I'm
yeah,
gonna
go
jump in there
ahead, go
really quick,
ahead.
Serena. Jeffrey,
You said
number one,
music, so you said something for
yeah, yeah.
Michael.
Now, well, no, number one, Jeffrey, congratulations on graduating. Um, so kudos to you. That's fantastic, even through everything that we're going through. So, congratulations on that. And I'm really glad that you're sharing your art with us, right? And that's everything from the music to the photo and the dedications that you've done. So, quick question, and especially for everybody on the audience here, is I know it's on all major platforms. How do we find it? Is it under Jeffrey Chambers?
It's under my name. So my middle name is Dion. So for all my artistic ventures, I go by Dion. So I'm on Instagram as Dion Visuals, Deon Visuals, or Dion Raps. And both platforms have links to the song and then links to buy and purchase. And I also drop my Venmo and Cash App, which goes by Dion Visuals, to take donations. So far, I've raised nearly about $700 plus. And right now, I'm having my team allocate funds to my choice of organizations, and personally sending money to protesters for their bail and food supplies at the courthouses, etc.
God bless you, Jeffrey. That's fantastic,
There you
man.
go.
I can guarantee you that you're definitely gonna get some from me today.
Absolutely,
Appreciate it.
absolutely. We definitely going to support you.
Thank
Yeah, you're doing an awesome job. I love the fact that, okay, so we get stopped at this point with COVID-19, right? So now we have to come back and restructure, press the reset button, right? And come back out the gate with something else that will help us be able to adjust to the new normal. And you were able to do that. And I think we're all going to be challenged with doing that. Like Michael and I are challenged with doing that by doing the webinars every week. This we've been doing this for maybe about 7 weeks or so, but this is one step towards like changing and restructuring the way that we do. This is not business as usual. It's not going to be business as usual with anyone. So we all are going to be challenged and faced with that challenge of trying to think of a way to get through in this new normal. So Kyrie, what are your career plans? What are your plans?
Well, I took this online course on contact tracing. And for those of you who don't know what contact tracing is, that's kind of like, um, let's use COVID-19 as an example. Someone has a case, right? And they went to the doctor and got tested. All those testing results go into a database. and I'm to call that case and kind of try and figure out, okay, who were you around? What did you do? And how many other people were you in contact with? And then I have to go contact the people that he was in contact with, and kind of, it's like a spider web almost. I have to know,
Right.
okay, what did the contact do? Things like that.
What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of the contact tracer? What do you think? What's the purpose of it?
So the purpose of the contact trace is pretty much to reduce this thing called the reproductive number. And that's pretty much like, so let's say someone has COVID-19, the reproductive number is how many people on average that person will infect. So the number kind of varies, but on average it's about 2 to 3. But it can obviously be in 6, 5, and more high-risk areas.
And depending on whatever event he or she was present in, right? Because it could be a big arena, and then that's a lot of contact with a lot of folks. So I'm curious to know, why did you pick environmental science and community health? Why did you select that?
Well, I picked environmental science and health because, like, I didn't want to really tie myself down to one science. And I knew that environmental science will really allow me to look into a bunch of different things. And I really thought that health was the best complementary for this, because then I can really learn about the environment, learn how it impacts health, and then kind of just tie the two together.
And the public health, is there for any particular community, or is there any particular communities that you want to service?
I'm going to say no. I mean, I'm not going to shame someone if they want to work only in, African American communities or their community. But I feel like for me, I really want to go wherever help is needed. So even if they don't really like me that much, I will still offer my help and services in any way I can.
Wow. So you are willing to help people who may not like you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And Hensley, what are your plans? I know you had some summer plans. Did anything change for you?
Yes, actually. So by the end of this year, I was like honestly trying to go visit colleges for the summer, trying to get a summer job, and probably just work out and stuff, do all the little things, honestly. But now there's not a lot of jobs available. Colleges are probably gonna be closed for the summer, and it's the gyms, we don't know when they're gonna be open. So it's all those plans I had are just out the window. So honestly, I'm probably just going to be at home still looking at colleges, still figure out where I want to go.
Trying to figure it out, yeah.
At least I know what I want to study. I just don't know where I'm gonna go.
What are you gonna study?
Okay, so in college, I'm gonna study athletic training. So I'm trying to be a trainer, hopefully. I know it's crazy, but I was trying to be a trainer, hopefully, for the NBA, hopefully. It's an NBA
It's not crazy. It's not crazy.
But
anything is possible. You're brilliant. Anything is possible. There are no limits to what you can do. So no, it's not crazy at all. I want you to know. Do you say you heard it from Miss Goodman? That is not crazy. When it happens, then you're gonna say, wow, she told me that back in 2020. It wasn't crazy. It's not crazy. None of it is crazy. None of your plans that you have is crazy. All of the plans are doable, and you guys are awesome. So now I just want to say, let's take COVID-19, and how do you guys feel about what's happening in the communities right now? What do you feel about the protests? How do you feel? What's going through your mind when you look at it? What do you think when you see about what is happening right now? Jeffrey? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It was breaking up a little bit. Could you repeat that?
I said, with what's happening right now with George Floyd, the situation, the police brutality, the protests, they're in 169 cities. What are your feelings about this?
I'm very happy. It's very bittersweet because 4 years ago I was marching for Ferguson over in New York, and the protests, it was really the first time I saw the community come together, black, white, Asian, didn't matter what color, everyone had a common cause. But of course, we were antagonized, and we were really peaceful. There were no riots, not that I've seen, not in New York. And then seeing this come through again, like I was already on Pix 11. I've been through the ringer. I know how they operate. And this is like nothing that I've seen before. Mind you, I was like last year I was living in France and I was watching them do the riots. I was watching revolt and I was hit with tear gas and I was shot at and like it was intense.
Wow.
So like I'm seeing and over there they got it done. Whatever their agenda was, they pushed it and like it had a result to it. And they managed to pick up pieces, even though they're still rioting, they're still together. It's been consistent. And so I come back here and I'm seeing the same thing happen. And I'm seeing
Wow.
people have unity, but I think we just need more of a direction. You can burn the city down, you can be angry, you can do what you need to, but it can't just be that. Someone needs to be there to pick up the pieces and throw us in a better direction. So what I'm trying to do is like, once the emotions subside, I'm trying to come in logically and really like just offer direction and support, to people that can either push forward to agenda or they can help somebody that can also be like a figurehead or like leadership.
Right.
That's what we really need. We either need to keep moving as a collective or we need strong leadership. There needs to be an end goal. And like
Yeah.
I'm tired of the same sad song and I'm tired of the formula. I'm tired of seeing black people murdered. I'm tired of seeing people murdered at the hands of authority in general. And I feel like at some point it starts being a black problem and starts being a human rights problem.
Thank you.
So we need to figure out a common ground and we need to navigate that. Because at a certain point it really just starts being about race and it starts being about class and the 1%, the government. So I'm just trying to provide the resources, to combat, to fight. Because this is not a very short win. We can't riot for a week. This is a whole system that needs reform. That needs to be taken down brick by brick and built back up. It's not a system made for us, so it needs a new one. So
Exactly.
That's my thought.
How old are you, Jeff?
I'm 23.
23. I've known your dad for about 20 years, right? And I have to give him a call today and tell him what a wonderful, wonderful son he has. And I commend you for your thought process. Absolutely. You got it. And you guys are our future. I'm feeling kind of safer now. There was a little point in time I was a little nervous, but I think I'm feeling a lot better right now because I like your thought process. You actually thought this situation out. Do you guys think that it's a difference between the protesters and the looters, or they're just the same entity? What do you guys think? Hensley, what do you think? You think they're the same? The protesters, you think so?
Yes, I think like it doesn't matter what happens. It's like it's still in the same boat because all this like stealing and things, like breaking property, destroying property, whatever you want to call it, it's ridiculous.
Kyrie, what do you think? And I'm gonna come back to you, Jeff, because I know you want to say something. I could tell. Kyrie, what do you think?
I'm gonna say that the looters are a byproduct of the protesters. So,
How so?
I mean, I feel like at first everyone was protesting, but I think the looters saw an opportunity. Hey,
okay,
I could always get that, that TV I wanted, that GameCube, whatever, and they took the opportunity during the chaos to go take what they wanted.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like yes, it should be peaceful, but I mean, most of our peaceful protests in the past hasn't really gotten us anywhere.
Jeff, come on in.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, I personally think they're two sides of the same coin with the protesters and the rioters. I think so. What I've come to notice and what history has taught us over again, no one is ever receptive to a message until you apply pressure, and they only react to violence. And they react. The main thing big corporations and governments react to is when you hit their pockets. So I think protesters are a bit more organized and a bit more militant that are looting like Soho and Saks Fifth and all these stores that, for thousands of hours and days spent discriminating against our people. But we go in there, we spend thousands. And I think people are like, you know what, we're going to hit big corporations too because, they send out these cute little Black Lives Matter messages. But we cannot eat thoughts. We cannot, we can't fund the revolution off of prayers and thoughts and thank yous. We need funding. And I think the main point of the riots is to just really hit their pockets and to really, leave something wide open. Like, oh, are you paying attention now? But there also needs to be accountability. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities to saw this as a way to really project their anger and their negative energy and like their intentions. Because
Absolutely.
Our young men are doing their thing. So I'm gonna just ask them if they would to just give us your final thoughts thing that you want our viewers to take away with today? Jeff?
I would just like people to know is that, like, I know we're in very uncertain times and the future looks a little bleak, but I heard Erica Badu say something that I always go by, and it's that, when you think about the past, you become sad, you become nostalgic. When you think about the future, you become anxious. But the only way to know true peace is to just live in the present. So I think we need, to keep love alive. We need to keep intellect alive, but we need to stay vigilant, and we need to keep the energy consistent. We can't just we can't be flared up one day and diminish the next. I think we really just need to keep moving how we've been moving, And I know it sounds cliche, but really love is like the strongest thing we can really put out there. And just keep spreading good energy, And stop treating people as strangers, and just kind of like embrace the next man, because you never know what someone else is going to. Just have more empathy. That's what I really need. That's what everyone kind of needs, more empathy, and that's what I want people to walk away with. The solutions for the problems, not like symptoms. Walk away with solutions and empathy.
Thank you. Hensley?
I feel like overall, like some things up, I feel like I know we're in very unfortunate times that I don't think we ever expected to be in this predicament, like, again. But it's like, I feel like we need to make the most of it. Make the most of it. It's like, I know it's like, how can you make the most of it during times like this? But it's like, hey, you gotta try different things, try new things out, things that you would not expect to be doing. But it's like, you gotta do something different. It's like, we're at home, we're basically on lockdown until next week Monday. But it's like, at the end of the day, we need to realize that this is going to go away. This is not a long-term thing. It's like, it was here just to be here, and now it's gonna leave. Hopefully, no more cases show up. If they do, hopefully not a drastic number. And in terms of the protests, I feel like as long as we're having peaceful protests, nothing should go wrong. It's like, something is gonna go wrong, something bound to go wrong. But it's like, I feel like overall, as long as we keep it peaceful, they're gonna listen to us, and our voices will be heard. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So, yes.
Thank you, brother. And Kyrie, what's your final thoughts?
I'm gonna say that, like, for us as African Americans, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever your race is, I think you should really try to value your humanity and never let anyone take away your value as a human being. And the second thing I want to say is that you as people, right, don't let anyone limit what you can do, because you can be whatever it is you want to be. If you want to be a mechanic who also has knowledge of chemistry and sciences, you can do it. There is no limit for you. There's no sky. Sky's not the limit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. So there we have it. You heard the voices of 3 wonderful, awesome African-American young men, and they hold our future in their hands, and I think our future is in really good hands. What do you say,
Agreed.
Michael?
I agree. And Jeffrey, I'm looking forward to it, man. Dion Visuals,
Yes,
Dion Raps.
indeedy.
I'm going to check it out tonight.
Make a donation. Let's get this thing rolling. We're going to continue to do our part. Thank you for tuning in today. And just remember that social distancing does not equal emotional distancing. Peace and blessings to everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Have a good day.